Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is the second episode of season 2 of Giro to Italia. I'm just looking through some photographs that I took on a trip to Italy that I made back in 2018. This first one is a photograph, a bad photograph, let's be honest, of the Castello Sforza in Milan. This is the front of it. As you can see, I've managed to do it at a weird angle where this tower is slightly leaning to the left, and the fountain isn't central like I wanted it to be either. Very annoying. But yeah, that's basically what it is. This is Castello Sforza, a castle in the centre of Milan. It is lovely by there. The interior of the castle is really, really nice. There's a huge park in the rear of it, like absolutely gigantic. Really, really nice. Unfortunately, this is the first time I went to Milan, and it was raining, as if you've tuned into the first episode, you might already know. So it wasn't that nice there that day. It was much nicer when I went back in 2019 instead with some friends. But yeah, that's what this first one is. Castello Sforza in Milan. Bit of a shame the first image is a bit crap, but I promise you they get better on this one. This roll of film actually does get better. Who recognises this guy? I mean, it says his name on the bottom of the statue, so you should recognise him. No, it's not the turtle. It's Leonardo da Vinci. This is a statue that I just stumbled across. I can't even remember where exactly it is. I've got a thing about photographing statues. I liked this one mainly because I hadn't seen a statue of Leonardo da Vinci before, or I think since, actually. Anywhere that I've been, I just quite liked it. Also, I think the angle I've taken it is quite interesting. You know, looking right up at him, but then this big chunk of tree in the left-hand corner. So it isn't too much of just a big open space with the sky and everything. There is some stuff breaking it up around it, sort of framing him a little bit as well, I think. So yeah, this one isn't too bad, I would say. It's another incredibly famous building. If you don't know what this is, I'm amazed, but if you do, well, you know, it's the cathedral in the centre of Milan, obviously. It's quite a famous looking one. This one, again, as you can see, it's obviously raining, it's hammering down. I mean, look at all the umbrellas and the tourists getting very, very wet in the front of it. This is probably a better image of the cathedral that I've taken than the previous roll of film. Those were some of them were at some weird angles, and you couldn't really see much. This you could at least see quite a lot of the cathedral. I think it works quite well in the square format that I've gone for here. Obviously, again, these are all shot on my Yashica, which is a 6x6 medium format TLR, so you know, you get a square format image out of the negative. I think it quite suits it, mainly because the cathedral itself, the front, it is quite boxy kind of shaped, as you can see, and you know, I think it fits into it pretty well. And isn't that a beautiful car? That is a police Ferrari. I don't know what this was about at all. All I know is that I was walking around the streets and I just kind of stumbled across this sort of collection of classic police cars that were set up, and some of the police were just, you know, stood around. I'm assuming it was some sort of like come and look at the cars kind of situation maybe, and then they'd talk to you about the police, but I couldn't really understand what was going on. In all honesty, it was about 5 cars just parked up that all looked really nice, and some coppers hanging around it. But there we go. But this was the nicest of all of them. I mean, that's a beautiful, beautiful car. Ferraris don't have to always be red. It does help, but I mean, that dark green looks gorgeous. I'm actually very, very pleased with how this image came out as well. You've got a nice bit of swirly bokeh and in the background on the leaves of the trees in the background there. The car itself is quite nicely in focus. Most important thing for me that's in focus is that Ferrari prancing horse band right in the middle of the grille there, as well as the registration number. So yeah, I really quite like this one a lot. I do like classic cars, so I'm a bit biased, but I like this one. I'm relatively happy with this as well. Unfortunately, because it's really, really overcast, the sky is horribly blown out. It's a bit of a problem, I guess. If I shot this on digital, it would be absolutely ruined. Film does it a little bit better, but I mean, digital would ruin it. The sky is just white and grey clouds, so if you need to exposed for the shadows in the foreground, which are these people who are relatively dark, you're going to blow out that sky. And unfortunately, because there's a fountain there that's blowing all this water and kind of the steam and everything, I guess, is probably what it would be. That's all getting blown out as well. Other than that, I think it's a relatively nice composition. You've got this family stood all with their umbrellas, obviously showing that it's a very, very wet day. You've got the reflection showing in the wet ground. You've got reflections there of the bike stands in the middle of the image as well. A little bit of reflection of the fountain. Yeah, just a shame about the blown out highlights. But other than that, I would probably be quite happy with this. This, on the other hand, is absolute crap, isn't it? As you can tell, I'm stood in quite a relatively shadowed and dark area, so I've had to shoot this at a quite slow shutter speed, and I've massively messed it up. You can clearly see the shake that my hands have had. The woman is completely out of focus. She's blurry as hell. Most of the foreground stuff is blurry as well. I may even be focused, like on the sort of shutters to the left-hand side. They seem relatively in focus, so maybe I've also focused on the wrong thing. Either way, this could have been an interesting-ish looking street image. Unfortunately, it's turned out like a pile of crap. So there we go. If you tuned into the last episode, you might remember me saying that I had a bit of a disaster in Milan. It rained the entire time, and some of the things I wanted to go to were closed off for events. This is one of those events. This is the square in front of the cathedral. I went back to the cathedral the next day thinking, I know, it was very busy yesterday. I'll get there early and I will queue up to get inside. Instead, what happened is that the metro decided not to stop at the station that I thought it was going to stop at. I then had to get off at the next one and walk back, which was about a 15-minute walk in the pouring down rain. So that was great already. And then when I got to the square, I was greeted with this. A load of volunteers. There was a fun run going on. And the ending for the fun run was in the middle of the square in front of the cathedral. So the cathedral you couldn't get into and you couldn't really do much here. So because I'd got here, I took a photograph in the rain and was just generally very miserable. There's a running theme of my trip to Milan of it being quite miserable. Just an image of just a street by the looks of it. There's some nice reflections going on in the wet paving from some of the lighting in the distance there. But I mean, you can't really see. You can sort of see a little bit of specks of droplets of rain on the paving in some of the lighter areas. But I will tell you now, it was hammering down. Absolutely hammering down. That is why there is only one person in this scene, in the street anyway. You can see the one person holding an umbrella walking in the middle there. I stood to the side because I was getting a little bit of shelter from that rain, and I was soaked through by this point. I was not happy. To be fair, most of the images I've taken on this roll at this point are just me soaking wet and not enjoying life. You can kind of see some people in the bottom left huddled under shelter on the opposite side of the street. Everything else really, really empty because, who's going to go out in the rain, unfortunately. Just another image of something that's a bit under some shelter. Again, because it's raining, there's not really many people around. Massive difference to the day before when this place was super, super busy. This time around, as you can see, there's this one person walking, and that's it. I've managed to balls focus up. They're just a blob. I don't really know what is in focus in here. I can't even see. It's a shame because this could have been something, but it really isn't. Let's move on to the next one, I think. Oh, this could have been something good as well, but I messed it up. I'm shooting with the equivalent of a 50mm lens on the Yashica. It's I think it's an 18mm, which medium format is the equivalent of about 50 on 35. And it just means that I've struggled to squeeze things in. I am stood on the very, very opposite side of the street from this building, and I've obviously waited for these people to come walking past with the umbrellas, so it has a bit of foreground interest, and unfortunately I can't squeeze in enough, so I've cut off the top of the building and I've cut off their feet. Damn it. Oh god, I apologise. This is just as bad. I don't know what I'm doing here. It isn't even central. The image is not central to what I want. You know, the main focus is clearly the entrance to the mall by here, and it's just not in the centre. I've just got some umbrellas in the way, which it would be more interesting if I could see the people that are attached to them. Instead, they're just more of a distraction. I'm really sorry. This is awful. The last image isn't very good either. Oh, I told you it wasn't. Oh, these are garbage, aren't they? They're really, really bad. I forgot how bad this day shooting was. Yeah, it's a fountain. It's out of focus. It's just awful. It's just absolutely awful. I'm gonna have to record episode 3 of this straight after this, just because these are so bad. They've made me really depressed about how bad the photos are. Oh god. I'd say like and subscribe after this point, but if I was you, I wouldn't bother. Just seeing this kind of crap. I swear they get better. I might release this and episode 3 at the same time, and then you can just see the better photos. I'm sure there's better ones on the third roll of film. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for your patience through this rubbish. Like I said, they get better.